Late last night and early today, at my direction, the United States Armed Forces conducted an extraordinary military operation in the capital of Venezuela. Overwhelming American military power, air, land, and sea, was used to launch a spectacular assault. And it was an assault like people have not seen since World War II. It was a force against a heavily fortified military fortress in the heart of Caracas to bring outlaw dictator Nicolas Maduro to justice.
Good evening, folks. This is a topic I've largely skipped over, not really avoided, but didn't talk much about, as I hope that the court cases would play out. But now that the United States has attacked Venezuela, captured its former president, who we didn't consider to be legitimately elected after stealing election, and been extradited back to the United States, having arrived in New York for his criminal activity, alleged criminal activity in drugs trafficking and terrorism against the United States. Now that that's happened, perhaps it's time to begin to unpack something that ought to be of great concern to Cyril Ramaphosa and the politicians of the African National Congress in South Africa. South Africa's ties to Iran are coming under increasing scrutiny in the United States, and that heat is being turned up on South African telecoms company MTN, which was previously chaired by none other than President Cyril Ramaphosa, now chaired by Nicklin Jonas, South Africa's so-called special envoy to the United States, who is listed as an independent non-executive chairman. On the 17th of March of 2025, the MTN board of directors authorized the most recent version of its annual financial statements. That report disclosed that MTN Group is involved in a total of 5 anti-terrorism cases in U.S. courts. 5 Anti-Terrorism Act cases. President Ramaphosa has faced scrutiny and allegations related to the MTN Group's past business dealings in Iran, which occurred when he was the company's executive chairman and later non-executive chairman from 2001 to 2013. Now, the core issues stem from lawsuits and a recent U.S. Department of Justice investigation into whether MTN used bribery to secure a telecom license in Iran and allegedly funneled money to entities linked to the Iranian government, which in turn financed attacks that killed American soldiers. This is not a small or trivial issue here. It's the sort of issue that we now see Trump will take seriously and go after someone. Is Cyril next on the list? Wow. But folks, it's not just Ramaphosa that's in the crosshairs. Remember his special envoy to the United States? This is a problematic issue for South African special envoy to the U.S., Nicklin Jonas, who was MTN chairman of the board when the most recent annual financial statements were reported. Now, as chairman of the board, he had a fiduciary responsibility to protect the interests of MTN Group as well as its shareholders. This included ensuring that the board of directors exercised proper oversight of the annual financial statements and didn't become embroiled in terrorist support. Now, this hasn't gone unnoticed in South Africa. Part of the Government National Unity, the Democratic Alliance, on the 25th of August, 2025, made it very clear, stating publicly that MTN is under U.S. investigation for alleged ties to terrorist networks, not a dirty tricks campaign against South Africa. Ramaphosa and Jonas both have personal interest in downplaying the probe, given their roles at MTN. The Democratic Alliance further said that Ramaphosa must answer why he appointed Jonas as U.S. Special Envoy despite a clear conflict of interest in this case. They also said the media like to present themselves as corruption busters, but all too often they become complicit in covering up malfeasance by acting as a mouthpiece for those seeking to shield themselves in corruption scandals. And that would have to be the case here. The MTN scandal ought to be the biggest thing on the plate in South Africa, not News 24 disabusing of our notion that Johannesburg is the world's largest man-made forest. That's their fact-checking, not what's going on with MTN. The Department of Justice is currently running a grand jury investigation into MTN's operations in Iran and Afghanistan. MTN has confirmed that it's cooperating with that request for information from the DOJ. MTN has consistently denied all allegations of wrongdoing, stating that an independent internal review, the Hoffman Commission in 2013, cleared it of previous claims by the Turkish company Turkcell, which were related to this whole issue. U.S. District Court ruled in late 2023 that the anti-terrorism civil lawsuits could proceed into discovery, which denied MTN's motion to dismiss the cases. Now, the accusations against MTN are grave. Families of U.S. service members, contract, and Israeli civilians have alleged that in Afghanistan, MTN paid millions of dollars in protection money from 2006 until 2021 and made concessions to Taliban-linked militants in exchange for keeping its mobile networks operational. These concessions, plaintiffs argue, funded the very groups that targeted and killed Americans. In Iran, MTN's 49% stake in MTN Iran Cell from 2005 until 2025 funneled billions of dollars of revenue to entities controlled by Iran's supreme leader, the Ministry of Defense, and the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, a U.S. designated foreign terrorist organization, providing billions of dollars to terrorists responsible for rocket attacks, bombings, and killings of American and Israeli civilians. Now, if these arguments are proven, these actions move beyond reckless corporate risk-taking into the realm of material support for terrorism. The criminal penalties under U.S. law are among the harshest in the federal system, up to 20 years imprisonment per count, and where deaths result, as is alleged here, life imprisonment. But the political implications of this are huge and growing by the hour. Investigations have created political pressure as critics question President Ramaphosa and the ruling ANC party's close historical ties to MTN, and the ongoing investigations created political pressure as critics have questioned Ramaphosa and the ruling ANC's close historical ties to MTN and to Nkabisi Jonas. So, is this a tempest in a teapot, or is in fact MTN guilty of funding terrorism through Iran? I don't have the answer, but these trials will prove whether it's true or not. In the meantime, Ramaphosa better hope that the U.S. government can't prove these allegations, because if they can, there might be a SEAL Team 6 in his future. Pretty frightening stuff, huh? But the heads of state involved in this sort of criminal activity. But then again, we know that Ramaphosa had $580,000 in cash delivered to his game ranch in Pala Pala, violating customs laws, violating SARS tax regulations, and then purportedly used the VIP protection unit to cover up the crime by hunting down the people who stole the money and supposedly torturing them, defeating the means of justice. Whether that's true or not, I don't know. Those are simply allegations made in the press. What I can say for sure is that I smell a rat. And it's not just in Tehran. It's in Pretoria as well. And if I can smell that rat, the U.S. intelligence community can smell it, knows where it died, knows how it died, knows who's responsible for that dead rat. If I were Cyril Ramaphosa, I would be very concerned, and I would start making sure that my protection unit is close at hand. Is there a SEAL Team 6 raid in his future? I don't know. All I can say is that when the jacarandas are in bloom, Pretoria is a lovely town, SEAL Team 6. Tell me how it goes. Cheers, South Africa. Zanzi.